All right, so I'm going to do this video, and I know it's not perfect, the lighting and the camera and everything, but I teach D&D to kids, and I think it's important for me to start doing a kind of a daily or weekly review of like what happens in class so that I can share this with other people who want to do the same thing. So I teach D&D as an after-school activity, and I think it's really important because it gives a forum for an opportunity for kids to be creative and social and interact with each other and be away kind of from their screens for a minute because I do it all analog with paper, character sheets, and grease. I'm sorry, dry erase markers on maps and that sort of thing, and little figurines, the old school way. So you can, I have lots of videos about that. But this video in particular, I wanted to share a little thing that happened yesterday. So I had the first day of class with 14 students. Now, a bunch of those students had already been in my class before, so they were all ready to like start their campaigns. A couple of them had never played before, so we started with character creation. They wanted to create characters. I had pre-mades already, but kids just love rolling dice, so like I got them to do that. And then I had this group that wanted me to DM, so I got 5 students together, and I was running. I was going to run the Horde of the Dragon Queen, the very first D&D 5e module from book, and right away it went off the rails. So, as it always does, especially with kids, these are middle schoolers. These are all sixth graders. So, that's the kind of age range mentality, and they're so creative. But anyway, they were so excited, so we got started late after we got the characters created. And basically, here's what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about this old school technique that people used to do, which was called simultaneous combat. All right, so I'm telling the story, and I set it up so that they can tell their little backstories. Why are you on this cart that's coming to the town of Greenest? And tell me a little bit about your character and why they're on this cart. So some of them came up with some pretty cool ideas. Some of them were just like, I woke up when I was on this cart and I wonder why. Okay, well that's perfectly legit. That's the way a lot of like video games start, with the amnesiac story. The player discovers as the narrative goes on. Others had the idea that, like the one said, the one very new kid, he said, I'm here to kill King Arthur, and he's not the good King Arthur, he's the bad King Arthur, and the reason is I want revenge on my, for my family. Another really classic story line. So I love that. So anyway, we got 5 kids. One of them still like looking at backgrounds, creating their characters. So there's 4 of them that are at me, and they immediately I tell them the background. They come over a crest in the hill, beautiful sunset behind them, but there's glowing light on the horizon in front of them because the town of Greenest is on fire, and there's a blue dragon, adult blue dragon, who's attacking the keep, and so immediately, it is Dungeons and Dragons, so I always like to introduce a dragon or a dungeon or both as soon as possible. So they all roll for initiative. Well, one person looks in the cart before we're in combat and wants to find something. Rolls a really good investigation check. So I give them some magic javelins, right? So the one player, she says she wants them to be dragon lances. So I said, okay, fine. So we use the stats for dragon lance, right? So a special bonus if you hit a dragon with these. And so she throws one and hits it. Does a lot of damage. Now there's 2 kids. We roll initiative, and 2 kids get a tie, right? And the one kid before said, "Can I go next?" And I did say yes before we rolled initiative, and I probably shouldn't have done that. But I showed them how to roll initiative. They do. They tie. Um, the one kid actually, like, I don't know, he beats the tiebreaker, so he's gonna go. And then the other one says, "Hey, you said I could go next." And I said, "Okay, both of you are going to go at the same time, but I can only listen to one of you at the same, at a time. So you describe what you want to do. Blaze, describe what you want to do, and Ronan, you describe what you want to do." So the one says he wants to pull out his katana, and So I gave him a katana, and we just used the stats for a great sword because he wanted a katana, and it's not in 5e, at least not where I found it, and not in the basic player's manual. And then Ronan said he wants to fire his crossbow at the dragon, right? So I said, okay, roll an attack roll for the crossbow. So because the dragon's up high and he's not in katana range yet, right? So like the other kid's not gonna be able to hit. So in order to make it dramatic, Ronan rolls and misses his attack roll because it's an adult dragon. It's got an AC of 19, and I explained that to him, and he rolls like a 14. So I said, okay, so your crossbow bolt fires at the blue dragon, and the blue dragon swerves in order to like avoid being hit by the crossbow bolt. Flies down low enough that Blaze's character's katana is in striking distance. Roll your attack roll, and he rolls a really great attack roll, and he hits. And I said, and you cut down you cut the wing of the fibery part of the wing of this blue dragon who now like descends to the ground. And that's when we ran out of time for the day, so that's where they're going to start next time. So we have a nice cliffhanger. The blue dragon's on the ground. The party is surrounding them. There's one guy who's dragonborn. He's a gem dragonborn, and he wants to like be friends with this dragon, or he wants to talk to it. So he's going to be next. So we're going to see how that goes. But I guess my point is, if you got a lot of kids, you got 5 kids at the table, and they all want to go. And if you do combat in turns in D&D 5e or any role-playing game, combat can take a long time, right, to get around the table. So in order to get it around the table faster, you can do a couple things. You can have 2 characters describe what they want to do and have that be resolved at the same time. The other thing this helps with is the help action, which is big in D&D 5e, right? So if somebody gives another character the help action, they give them advantage on what they're trying to do, right? So advantage on attack rolls, really good for rogues, because then they'll get their sneak attack damage. And then it also encourages kids to help each other, right, at the table. So they actually get to work together on a plan, and they see how their actions affect the other player's actions. And I think this is really important, especially at the ages that I teach. I teach 3rd through 5th graders. I teach 6th through 8th graders. Having them realize that their actions affect other people and that it can happen in a positive way, I think is really important. And, this is what we're doing, okay? We're playing a game, yes, 100%. But we're also teaching, right? And what we're really teaching is social skills, teamwork, how to have fun together and not at each other's expense, right? Laughing at situations together as they happen and building confidence and relationships with each other. So I think using this old school way of resolving combat is a great way to do that. And I just wanted to throw that out here. So I may do more of these kind of ad hoc kind of not polished videos, just as almost a diary or a journal as I go, because I don't want these moments to be lost for me, so that I can come back to them and consult them. But I also want to be able to impart some of this knowledge on others who are trying to do the same thing, that maybe these happy accidents happen or these things happen. And I think it's good to emphasize this for teachers who are being DMs and teaching kids. So if you agree, go ahead and put it in the comments. If you have other stories about what you've done when you've run new players or students, and how you keep their interest at the table, especially during combat, which can be really tough, especially the more players you have, I would really like to hear it. So thanks for subscribing to the channel. We're over 15,000 subscribers strong. Our next goal is 20,000, and I appreciate it if you'd hit that subscribe button. So I'll see you on the next one, and have a great day out there. Thanks.